It is my vision to take the next step to this, to go to the faith-based locales, and then move to private residence. There are residents who are suffering right now because of economic challenges. They have spare rooms, they have locales, and if we can find a way to get over the 30-day rule and other rules that government has in its place.
Wow, it has finally come to this. New York City Mayor Adams actually now floating the idea of housing illegal aliens in private residences. You know, if we had said this just a month ago, they would have said we were speaking in hyperbole. There's no way they're going to displace us and put in the illegal aliens right into our very own homes. Joining us now to discuss is Pinal County, Arizona Sheriff and Arizona Republican U.S. Senate candidate Mark Lamb. Also with us is former Indiana Attorney General and founder of Interdiction and Convert Enforcement, Curtis Hill Jr. Sheriff Lamb, let's start off with you. Thank you so much for being with us, both of you guys, on this beautiful Sunday. This is downright dangerous, don't you think? We don't know who these people are. To move in illegal aliens into, say, a back room, they want to pay people to do this. I know here in New York City, there are, at least I can speak to, there are squatter laws. So these people could potentially move in and then refuse to leave. Why would the mayor suggest something like this?
Well, because they're out of their mind. They just don't understand the problem. They thought it was fun and games until it hit their community in New York. They have claimed over and over again they are sanctuary states. Now they have the opportunity to prove it. And what do? They want to pawn it off onto all the citizens. They'll probably start with all the conservatives and the Christians first, before they ever move to the rich liberals in New York. But this is just a ludicrous plan. I can tell you first and foremost that not everybody that comes across this border is a good person. Not everybody has good intentions. Many of them were criminals in their own countries. A lot of them have bad intentions for America. And I just think this is a horrible plan. It will absolutely backfire.
You know, I was reading an article that the New York City is now getting over $100 million of federal tax dollars to take care of these migrants or these illegal aliens, whatever you want to call them. The bottom line is this is simply not sustainable. You know, Curtis, wasn't it President Barack Obama who said that an open border is not sustainable? Wasn't he the one that put up all of those migration holding centers at the border? You know, the ones where AOC was crying, she was crying at. And yet they want to flood our country with stadium full of people that we have no idea who they are. They're not getting actual court dates. If they are, they're many, many years in advance. What do you think this does to our country in general?
Well, our country's been in trouble. This crisis has been ongoing for quite some time. But as crazy as this New York plan is, I kind of want to see him do it because I want to see the major failure in the city of New York to present such a ludicrous plan and, heaven forbid, actually try to execute it. It makes no sense. What the mayor ought to be doing and what Democrats ought to be doing is working towards an effective border policy. Let's stop the 200,000 people a month from coming into this country and taking our services. So if the mayor of New York wants to open up his churches and his residences and invite illegals to come on in, let's take him up on the offer. Let's see how it works out and see how his plan unfolds.
And Sheriff, you know, Arizona, it's an actual border state. So is Texas. You guys are completely being overwhelmed. I'm seeing some estimates that populations of states are actually being doubled by the number of illegals that are coming in. If New York City, the biggest city in the country, is saying they can't handle the influx of illegals, how do they expect the Democrats, meaning they, how do they expect other states to do it?
Well, they didn't care at first. They didn't care how we did it. That's why they didn't want to secure the border. Now, all of a sudden, they care because it's impacting them economically. It's impacting their streets, their crime levels. This is something we've been dealing with for a long time. But here's a news flash for all the Americans who didn't know this. When these people come across, we ask them where they're going. Almost none of them say they're staying in Arizona. The majority of these people plan on going to these other states. Why? Because states like New York are doing everything they can to accommodate them. All the while, we have Americans who are homeless. We have veterans who are struggling. We have mental health crisis at its all-time high in this country. And these folks in New York and other states are more worried about people that came to this country illegally and broke the law. And they want to spend hard-earned taxpayer dollars to create the softest landing possible for this people. I can tell you the American people are fed up. That's why I'm running for Senate. I've got to take this fight to Washington, D.C. Hopefully people will come support me as Sheriff Lamb for Senate, because we've got to stop the insanity in this country.
Absolutely. And Curtis, what's interesting is I was at an event on Friday night and I spoke to this, he's actually a world-renowned doctor now. He's a cardiologist. And he was telling me that he came to this country as an illegal. And he spent 4 months behind bars, and then thankfully he was granted political asylum. And he is dead set against over what's happening. He said, you know, I came in this country illegally. I was desperate. I was being politically persecuted, but I served my time. I did the right thing. He said, and yet, why is the United States incentivizing these people to break the law? It's not really their fault. It's the Biden administration who's saying that the border is closed, yet they're giving them everything in the kitchen sink and saying, come on in.
The incentive is incredible. There's a process that we have to allow people to safely enter this country and to keep the rest of us safe. Over 200,000 people a month is absolutely incredible. And where are these people going? The services that are being corrupted as a result of this, and it's all on the Biden administration. The Biden administration has absolutely no concern or respect for the health and safety of the migrants who are coming across. They're acting as though they're concerned about what happens to them. If they were concerned about what happens, if Joe Biden was concerned about the folks who are coming across the border illegally, he would be down there stopping them from coming into dangerous situations. He would be stopping the fentanyl that's coming along with them. This is directly impacting the rest of the American population, and it's all on Joe Biden's policies that are impacting us negatively.
It's definitely not a coincidence that we're seeing the number of people overdosing on drugs and the number of people coming into our country increasing as well. So there obviously is a correlation there. Thank you so much, Sheriff Mark Lamb and Curtis Hill Jr.
Thank you.